Hello, everyone. So we are continuing our discussion related to dummy variables. So in the previous example, which was this one, right? We have considered the case of a dummy variable where the dummy variable was defined in such a way that it would be equal to 1 if the teacher has BA degree and 0 if the teacher has no BA degree. See here, the number of conditions or the number of alternatives that were available was 2. Even in the first case that we considered, we defined the dummy variable as to be taking a value 1 if it is female and 0 if it is male, or otherwise. So all these cases that we have considered were cases where dummy variables were used to represent qualitative variables, which has exactly 2 possibilities, right? Now, the question that we are posing here is, can there be situations where the qualitative variable has 3 or more alternatives, right? Or 3 or more possibilities. The answer is yes. It is quite possible for a qualitative variable to have 3 or more alternatives as well. If we go back to this very same example that we have considered, right? What is that we have told? We considered the possibility of the teacher having BA degree or no BA degree, isn't it? So it can be the case that some of the teachers possess PhD degrees, right? It can also be the case that there can be teachers with master's degree and MA, isn't it? There can also be teachers with a BA degree. So consider this kind of a possibility now. You can have a case where you can segregate these teachers into 3 categories. The degrees of the teachers can be segregated into 3 categories where you have PhDs, right? Where you also have teachers with a MA degree. You also have teachers with BA degree. So here, the earlier condition now has 3 conditions here, not just a very simple. Earlier, it was just a simple proposition where whether the teacher would have BA degree or not, isn't it? But here we are segregating it into 3 conditions: teachers with PhD degree, teachers who have MA as their highest degree, right? And teachers who have BA as their highest degree. Okay. Now, the question is, how do we define the dummy variable here? Or how many dummy variables should be incorporated? Here, we get back to the earlier small rule that we talked about, a small condition that we should keep in mind. What did I say before? If you have 2 conditions, right, then those 2 conditions can be incorporated into one dummy variable. See, here we have 3 conditions, right, or 3 alternatives. So how many dummy variables do we require? We require 2 dummies. Okay. Let us say that in order to uh, represent the 3 conditions, we define or we create 2 dummy variables which are defined as follows. One dummy variable is defined as PhDI, right? Which is defined in this manner. PhDI would take a value 1, right? If the ith teacher has a PhD degree, right? And 0 if it is otherwise. That is, if the teacher doesn't have a PhD degree. Okay. And the second dummy variable would be MA, right? MAI, where it is defined as 1 if the teacher's highest degree is an MA, right? If the ith teacher's highest degree is an MA, right? 0 otherwise. You might wonder as to how this third possibility would be captured here, right? Third possibility here is the omitted condition. In this case, the omitted condition is the third possibility of the highest degree being BA. How would this condition be taken into consideration? The omitted condition BA as the highest degree would be represented when both these dummies are equal to 0. Isn't it? When this dummy PhD is equal to 0 and the second dummy MAI is also equal to 0. That would mean that the highest degree of that particular person is BA degree. Okay. So this way you can measure the impact of each degree independently without having to link the impacts of having a MA or PhD degree. So this is a way in which this kind of a qualitative information can be incorporated into this regression model, right? So if we are writing this down as an equation, it might look like this: yi, which is again the salary of the ith high school teacher, is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 xi. Xi would represent the number of years of experience itself, right? Beta 2 here, what would that be? It would be PhDi, right? Plus beta 3 MAI, right? Plus epsilon I. This would be the econometric equation. And what would be, when we try to hypothesize the signs of these coefficients, what would it be? This would be a plus, because with number of years of experience increasing, the salary is also expected to increase, right? Similarly, for PhD, if the teacher is having a PhD degree, then the teacher should get a higher salary, right, when compared to someone with a lesser degree, right? So here we should be a little careful about the way in which we are interpreting these coefficients, right? Because we have more than two or more than two dummy variables. Here we have two dummy variables, right? So here, when we are interpreting the coefficient, each coefficient will tell us the increase in the dependent variable, right? What is the dependent variable here? The salary, right? It will tell us the increase in the dependent variable caused by the condition being met compared to the omitted condition. Okay. For example, if you are taking this one, beta 3, right? What does beta 3 measure? Beta 3 will measure the impact of having the highest degree being MA, holding the number of years of experience and PhD as constant. Okay. Right? So beta 3 will measure the impact of having the highest degree as MA compared to the omitted condition. What is the omitted condition here? Omitted condition is when the highest degree is BA, right? The highest degree is BA is the omitted condition here. So compared to this situation, right? Compared to a person who is having a BA degree, a person with the highest qualification as MA, right? How much extra salary would they receive? That would be indicated by this beta 3. So naturally, it is quite natural that a person with a MA degree would have a higher salary, is expected to have a higher salary than the one with a BA degree. So the hypothetical value or the hypothesized value of beta 3 should also be a positive value. Okay. Right? So that is the way in which we interpret. So even if you have more than two possibilities, right, three or four possibilities, etc., right, we can incorporate it using dummy variables. If you have three possibilities, as we have discussed here, you capture that by using two dummy variables, right? And the two dummy variables can be defined in this manner. And the omitted condition here in this case would be that of the BA degree. And when would the omitted condition be satisfied? When both these dummy variables take the value 0. When PhDI and MAI, both of them take the value 0, right? Then that would represent the omitted condition, which is the highest degree of the person is BA. Okay. And it is in comparison with this omitted condition that we often define the coefficient of this dummy variables, right? So here, as an example, what I said is, if we are trying to interpret the value of beta 3, right, what would it mean? It would mean, it would indicate the increase in the salary, right? It would measure the impact on the salary of a particular individual who is having an MA degree as against a person who is having only BA as his highest qualification. Okay. So that is the way in which we try to interpret and make sense of dummy variables here, right? We'll continue in the next video. Thank you.